This is Smoking Out the Closet. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Raven Greer.
Squeaky chair, I will edit this out later if I forget. Sorry, audience, but that's... Hi, my name is Raven. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Alex. I use they, them pronouns.
Welcome back to another episode of
Smoking Out the Closet.
Do we get it that time?
I think we did.
Yes! So we're recording, and then we might sound a bit different. Previously, we've been recording through Audacity, and I've been having issues with my lack of knowledge of how to edit everything, and just my level of editing when it comes to audio stuff like this. So right now we are recording through Anchor itself on their website. We did a couple trial runs, and it's already sounding better to me.
Yeah, same.
So this is a great improvement, and if once we put this episode out, if it continues to be a good improvement, we're just gonna stay with this.
I feel like you can actually hear me now too, and I don't feel like I have to shout.
Exactly. So I think Anchor is a little bit better for the way the microphone is and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be our, podcast probably going forward is just recording through Anchor. I might edit in Audacity because Anchor just put out an update to their site where they have a waveform editor, so I'll see how that is. And if that's a little too much trouble, I'll edit in Audacity. But still, we're probably going to record through Anchor itself. That being said, how are you feeling, honey?
I'm vibing. I'm over here just vibing.
Yeah, you were like, oh, I'm coming down.
Yeah, I was like, I'm coming down, but it's graceful. I ate like a half a pack of strawberry wafer cookies before the podcast. It was so freaking good.
So today was our first day in a long while that you and me both had off. That's not a holiday.
Yeah, we didn't have some other arrangement or something to do.
So we just got to spend the entire day together. So we basically smoked all day and played video games together, which we haven't done in a long time.
We went out for lunch too.
Oh yeah, we did.
And you made us such a good dinner. Oh my god, that was good. Are there leftovers?
Oh yeah, there's leftovers. There's no sliced cheese anymore for it, but
still, I can put Parmesan cheese on it.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, we just kind of had a decent day together, and we spent time with each other that we really needed to recharge our batteries.
Yeah.
That being said, do you want to get the bummer stuff out of the way first?
Yeah, let's get the bummer stuff out of the way first.
So as the time of recording, this has been 2 days after the announcement of Betty White's passing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of celebrities out there that will make people cry because they've been such a great influence on them or a great source of relief from stress or anything. Robin Williams and Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, big examples for me.
When oh my god, it's my heart. Words are hard. Yeah, but whenever Robin Williams died, I was in the car and I remember, and I just tears started streaming down my face because he's the reason. He was in Dead Poets Society, and he was the reason I got my first tattoo.
Yeah, your Carpe Diem tattoo.
Yeah, and it was hard because he's always there to make me laugh. I watched Mrs. Doubtfire growing up. I was a huge Robin Williams fan.
And it wasn't always comedy with him. He was a very serious person, and he made you think, just like George Carlin.
Yeah.
Made me laugh, but it also made me think. And so they were people who I wanted, maybe not to model my entire life out of, but certain aspects that I admired out of them, I wanted to improve myself with.
Yeah.
And the same thing was with Betty White. And the really cool thing that happened with Betty White's career is she was basically 3 generations of my family doing that. My grandparents, my parents, and then me. Because her career was over 80 years of acting.
Yeah, she holds a Guinness World Record for the longest running female actress.
Mm-hmm. And it sucks because she was 17 or 18 days before her 100th birthday, which she was going to have this big party and everything. celebrating it, and everyone was invited. They were going to live stream it,
Yeah.
and it just her time was there.
To quote, why is his name slipping my mind? Ryan Reynolds. There we go. To quote Ryan Reynolds, the world looks a little bit different now that she's not here.
It really does. God, I'm tearing up. The thing that really struck a chord with me about Betty White is how much she cared about animals and being kind to people.
Yeah.
And so I saw this Facebook post, and like everyone's like, "Hey, on her birthday, let's work. Like, donate to a cause you believe in, donate to an animal shelter, adopt an animal, try finding an animal a good home." Doing something that Betty would have done. And I'm like, yo, that's a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of funny too, because like she's literally been in so much stuff as I was growing up as a kid.
I used to watch Golden Girls all the time.
Same.
After school.
That was my first intro to Betty White.
Same.
And then she was in the Lorax. She had her own pranking TV show that was kind of like Ashton Kutcher's Punk'd kind of level. But like it was basically her and a couple of other old women pranking people. And
That's adorable.
I don't know, it's just something about Betty White that always like made me happy. And one, I'll have to find the cartoonist to reference him, but I think it was in the Oregon, like a local Oregon paper, or like the big newspaper for Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Oregon. It was basically Betty White with a bunch of dogs, and coming up to heaven to the pearly gates meet St. Peter, and basically was like, St. Peter was like, it says a lot about your legacy and your sorry, the cat was getting into something he wasn't supposed to. It says a lot about your life and your legacy that at 99 years old, people said you went too soon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that is true. That is accurate. Because Betty was she had a huge heart, and she never took anyone's crap. And that's one thing I really admired about her as a person.
Ryan Reynolds loved working with her. Like, they collabed in a movie. I can't remember the name of it, slipping my mind right now.
Oh, The Proposal.
Yeah, The Proposal.
With Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
I love it's the baby making blanket. I loved her in that movie. Oh, God. No, she was awesome. And I told my mom about this when I heard the news. I was like, if I can be like her at her age, I'd be happy,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just one of those things where her time came. And I remember all these comics where it was like Grim Reaper's like coming out to Betty White's door. She's just sitting there with a shotgun. She goes, you better turn back around the way you came.
Did you see the one where it was like, shoot, I had it. No, it's gone. There was a couple memes that were made about her. Oh, the Lego one. That's like 1 to 99, and when you're turning 100 next year, so you can't play with Legos anymore.
Yeah, so there's like it should be 1 to Betty White now. Yeah, it's. I mean, you're right. Ryan Reynolds would say it best. It's a little different without her here.
Yeah.
But it was her time to cross the veil, and I think it would be it would be selfish. Selfish. Thank you. I don't know why I can't say it right now. It would be selfish of us to try making her stay any longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That being said, I'm definitely going to find an organization because I know I get paid before the 17th. I'm going to save a little money to donate to a cause I believe in, probably the Les Bergener Project or the I can't remember what it stands for, but the WWF, the something Wildlife Foundation.
Yeah.
the Worldwide Wildlife Foundation or World Wildlife Foundation,
Something like that. Yeah.
The one with the panda and the logo.
Yeah, I
where
know
you
what
see
you're
their
talking about.
ads around Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Those are probably the two I'm looking at right now to donate to. But yeah, definitely Betty White's gonna be missed.
Oh yeah. Sure he is. Like she just was a hell of a woman. She was amazing. Like I loved hearing about her in the news because it was always some feel good story or some like, she did an interview about what it was like to be alive before sliced bread was a thing.
Right?
Yeah, like that was crazy.
First woman to ever win an Oscar. It was either an Oscar or an Emmy.
Yeah.
And heck, like, let's talk about how the fact that like so many of the like queer people love the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
And she was the last one.
Yeah.
Like
the meme that like the girls are finally golden again. I was
yeah,
like
that tore my heart up. But unless shifting gears to less depressing news, because I know a lot of people are probably still hurting from that and everything, but Betty White will definitely be missed. And I don't want people to think like, oh, we're just trying to cash in on what happened. And I'm like, no, this is something you and me both like were bawling when we found out about it. So I just want to take a moment to, with what little small platform I have, to honor her with that, Whew. But now on to less tear-inducing news. And Fitpin, it's okay, baby. We'll play with you in a bit. Do you want me? I'm gonna. Don't mind the squeaks.
Squeaks, what are you doing?
I'm moving their thing, and I'm turning the
thing on.
Yeah, I'm turning the thingy on. There you go, buddy. What was that? Sorry.
We have a battery-powered laser pointer that points at the floor and goes in circles for the cats.
And like on the days where I have to take long trips or something, and they have a toy that they can play with while we're not there.
We have a lot of mice and balls and stuff too. I don't know where the hell they all went to. I know I bought a brand new pack, all of them. I don't know where they went.
Somewhere in the here, house. There, a little there.
Under the stove somewhere, probably. I don't fucking
know. So this is also our first episode that we're recording in 2020 too.
2022.
2022. It's weird to think about. This is
weird.
Yeah. We originally were going to record this on the 1st. Because I closed last night, which is our typical Sunday, but we were just so tired.
Yeah.
So we're recording this on a Monday, but it's fine. It's still the new year. It's still the first episode of the new year. I wanted to actually get, because I realized, and we both realized after we recorded and posted our last episode, you didn't really get to talk about your hopes for this year. Do you want to talk about that?
So, I don't know. I usually just don't set I'm not a New Year's resolution kind of person, all the stuff that runs behind that. But there are a couple things that I hope to do this year. They're kind of more hopes for the year instead of New Year's resolutions, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, you and me are in the same boat. It's definitely not resolutions. It's just hopes and things we want to happen this year.
Yeah. I want to start reading more books. I got my new Kindle. I got myself my new Kindle for Christmas, and I want to read more books. And there's so many books out there that are free to read, and I want to start, taking care of myself a little bit better. And a big thing is correcting people in my pronouns. That's I'm gonna just stick freaking to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm proud of you for that.
Thanks.
I pretty much said all mine in the last episode. So, nothing really changed. I just want to get to where I can cook more every day with work. I started my actual store this week.
Yay. Just sleeping a little bit tomorrow.
Yeah. And it seems like I'm going to be more mids, which is fine. I can work with mid shifts or early, opening. I'm probably going to be daylight when I've heard. So.
I also just want to be less stressed this year. I think I said that last episode was just less stressed out.
Yeah.
The things have been stressing me out.
The holidays, you work retail, can do that.
Oh yeah, that'll do it to anybody.
Is there anything else you want to add about the hopes and plans for the new year?
Excuse me. Ooh, sorry. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to edit that out.
Nah, it's
Just
fine.
leave it in
Oops.
here.
Yeah, I might just leave a lot of it in here so I kind of have a
Yawn.
frame of reference.
Yeah.
Now one thing you and me talked about is Canada.
Yeah.
We were starting to have the Canada conversation again.
Yeah.
Before we kind of settled on moving to Pittsburgh, we were thinking about moving to Canada, and at the time, we were having a whole lot of like kind of confusion and like a lot of things weren't making sense for us.
Yeah.
Plus COVID.
Yeah. COVID was still things. It's
Still
a
a thing, but it's not as rampant as it was.
Yeah,
in 2020 and early 2021,
which is great.
Yeah, and it's a sign that things are changing slowly, but it's not. We're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah.
But with a lot of the recent legislation changes with Canada and the fact they have legal cannabis, and
Canada.
They have really good LGBT laws, the healthcare and everything. We're looking to moving to Canada again. Nothing set in stone. It's just looking at it. Potential for us to transfer between both of our companies.
Yeah.
Really high. So I mean, it's a pretty cool kind of stepping stone. My mom doesn't blame us at all.
No.
My
mom doesn't even know that we were thinking about it.
You're probably not going to tell her till like the last moment, just like
same thing like when we were getting married.
Yeah.
You were gonna propose to me. Yeah, last minute. Hey, by the way, I got a month until we move to Canada. What? Are you sure, Mom? There's no backing out of it. We already have a place rented. We already signed the lease. Can't do anything about it. Sorry.
But one thing I do know about Canada is all the weed's controlled by the government.
Yeah.
So basically, how we thought if Pennsylvania goes rec with the liquor laws here,
Yeah.
that's how Canada does their weed.
Okay.
Which honestly, I don't mind.
No.
I'm just hoping it allows manufacturer companies, like how you could buy certain brands of liquor here. I'm hoping that's the way they do it in Canada.
Yeah.
So you have like smaller businesses like Boyd and Blair, which we were going to buy some liquor from.
Yeah.
The wine and spirits up here, we just holiday money and moving we just ended up a little short.
What holiday money? There's never any money for the holidays.
I know.
There's these kids rolling up at my store with $100 bills. I'm like, the fuck? Who are your parents?
Right.
Who are your motherfucking parents?
But yeah, there's a potential that we might move to Canada, and you guys will obviously come with us.
Mhm.
We'll take the podcast there and talk about how's weed in America versus Canada, how's LGBT stuff in Canada versus America, and like I said, nothing set in stone.
Yeah.
But definitely are thinking about it, and definitely would love to at least have an episode where we go to Canada for
cool.
a trip and record in the hotel or something,
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, potential of us going to Canada?
No, I just keep thinking about Letterkenny. That's all I keep thinking about, right? Whenever we're talking about Canada, it's Letterkenny. I want to watch that again.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I need to catch up from where I am. And I think it's funny because some people were like, yeah, that's basically Ontario. And I'm like, well, that's one of the few spots where I can move to. Just on their side of Niagara.
Mm-hmm.
So, one thing I did want to bring up is my gummies.
Oh my god, your gummies.
I did a review of the Magical Butter Machine, and it was just on how to make a tincture. Now I can give it a little more, and I'm still keeping that 4.5. But their mango gummy mix.
Holy fuck. It is so good.
I screwed up the lime one and tasted too much like the tincture because I didn't realize I had to reduce the tincture to a FECO, or a full embodied cannabis oil, I think is what it stands for.
Okay.
But I did that with these gummies.
Yeah.
And let me tell you.
Oh boy.
They're
so fucking good. They're dangerous. Good. You can't chase the weed barely in them.
No.
Like, Mom, if I know you're listening, you need to grab one of Raven's gummies.
Yeah. So it was really cool because I didn't have sunflower like then. I still don't. So I basically made these, and they're really good. I keep them in the fridge so they last longer.
So good.
They surprisingly don't get chewy
Yeah.
with them being in the fridge.
They also don't get you crazy fucked up.
No, I mean, I could take one and be okay for my day, and
Yeah.
take two and then start having a fun time.
Yeah.
We were originally going to eat some for this episode.
Well, we smoked and I got really, 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 really high earlier. Higher than I intended to.
We've been smoking all day, so we're like, let's kind of just chill and just have the podcast kind of thing after we eat.
Yeah. Oh my god, dinner was so good. I know I said that before, but dinner was so good. Fuck, it was so good. I inhaled both those sandwiches. Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
I'm
just chilling and coming down. Sorry, I'm rambling.
You're good. So there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. But before I do, I just want to say, Magical Butter, I hit you up. I sent you a message through your email and your Instagram, and I haven't gotten anything back yet. So, really cool. I'd love to have you guys on a podcast. Love to talk to somebody.
Be so cool.
Be so cool to see what the inspiration and then what the brains behind the machine kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even just talking. It was just kind of hey, here's how I feel about the Magical Butter machine. Here's the stuff I talked about in that little review I added at the end of the last episode. Kind of it might be better for people if you explain things a little bit better.
Because those instructions read like stereo instructions. They're horrible.
So there's a couple of there's two more cannabis things and one semi-LGBT thing that I want to talk about, because you didn't pick any topics today, so this is kind of more of my brainchild of things to talk about, and it's okay. I mean, we were relaxing all day, and a stressful phone call in the morning.
Yeah, that was fun.
So what do you want to pick? How do you want to do it?
What are these? I see
the two weed things and the one kind of queer thing. But these are little topics, and this is a big topic.
Well, let's do the little ones first, and then we'll go into the big one.
Okay. So the first thing is I want to talk about a couple of cannabis apps.
Oh, yeah.
So as cannabis, as the industry is becoming more and more prevalent across the country, across different countries, the Silicon Valley, quote unquote, sector of the world, the information, the IT, the digital side of the corporate world is starting to get onto it. So they have Leafly, which has developed an app.
Yeah, I know we've talked about them before. The children are messing around with the blinds. And I know I've talked about Leafly briefly before.
And you've done that before.
Yeah, I have. This is so funny. Kids!
I'll fix it later.
I just wanted to break it. Like the thing. If they fuss with the thing.
It's already broken, honey.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. They've been fussing with the blinds, and yeah, we'll edit this out. We'll find whatever.
You just keep talking.
Oh, anyway. But yeah, I don't know what we're doing. Sorry.
Leafly app.
I have the Leafly app. I know we've talked about the Leafly app before on this podcast. I use them for a decent amount of stuff. They're starting to get a lot more strains on there, like stuff that I smoke. And then actually, when I was going to download that app was what prompted us to talk about this next app. Raven didn't know it existed, but it was recommended me by the Google Play Store.
Well, slow your roll a little bit. Talk more about Leafly first.
Oh, well, we've talked about Leafly before.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the basics, but tell them about the app exactly, because use the app more than the website.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to navigate. Their mobile website is kind of sluggish and not easy to go around. I think it's just a mobile adaptation of their desktop site. So you can imagine how horrible that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, their mobile app brings that experience that you would get on your computer to your phone. So I know I take my phone when we sesh usually, and oh hey, I'm feeling this sort of way. Let me put it on my phone about this, this strain I'm smoking, or before my high is quite over, I'm gonna write a review about whatever it is I'm smoking. Because you could do it in the moment then, and it's not I gotta sit down at my desk and turn the computer on and all of this stuff.
Yeah, remember a password.
Yeah, it's right there.
Because your phones, both of our phones are thumb activated.
My thumbprint's in them.
Now the other one, because I haven't used it yet, I just downloaded it, and I might give a review on it later.
It's pretty cool.
Jointly.
Yeah, that was what was recommended when I went to download the Leafly app. Think like part weed journal, which I feel like everybody should have, and how the strains affect you and everything, and then part social media network. So you can connect anonymously with other people who smoke the same strain and see where your experience matches up with theirs.
So
And
kind
see
of like Reddit, like a forum-based kind of thing.
No, think more like Amazon reviews section.
Okay.
And you can comment back and forth underneath each
Like the
person's
question
review.
answer kind of thing.
Yeah, but not the question answer thing. It's just like, hey, here's my review.
Okay.
Oh, hey, I have a question about your review, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that kind of thing. It's really cool. Kind of set up like I said, like if you scroll to a page where you're buying something that has the about and review sections, you can see what else they've smoked too. Like you can go to that person's profile and it shows all the things they reviewed or things that they've just smoked and haven't reviewed. It also tracks like how you intake your THC or your cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
So like, did you smoke a bowl? Did you use a water pipe? Did you use a joint? And then there's a cute little button that says, or did you eat it? This cute little button says, why does this matter? It's like, well, each way you ingest cannabis can affect you differently.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps track of that too, whether you vape it or whatever.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's pretty neat. And like you can see where you match up along with other people. It also recommends you strains that it thinks you'd like based off of how you've reviewed things prior.
So is that what you're using right now to try to figure out newer stuff for you to use? Okay.
I use the Jointly app. I feel like it has a little bit more personalization than Leafly. Leafly's great if you're looking at cannabinoids and cannabinoids only. I have that still for like, hey, I can't remember what the fuck this is.
Cannabinoids and terpenes, that kind of
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, terps and stuff like that. And like, hey, I can't remember what the strain is or what it's supposed to do. So I'll use that to look at the terp profiles and like the definitions of what each terp does. But Jointly is really like, hey, so this strain is high in these terps. We have these strains that are also high in these terps. We think you'd like this. It gives you a really nice similar group bubble of strains. So that way, if like your dispensary's out of your favorite one, you can pick something that's going to make you feel similar. Or you can pick the terps you want and like look at totally opposite strains that have those terps. So yeah, it's pretty cool. That's what I use for some of my new strains. And honestly, it's not perfect. No app is. The Tropical Thunder that I like to smoke is not in the app. I'd like to review it that way, but I use that alongside my weed journal. So
what you were saying just now with the weed journal was actually is a great transition into the next topic I wanted to talk about. And I see you eyeballing your
my weed journal's over there on top of my Surface.
Do you want to talk about yours?
Yeah. So I got like a really cheap, I think it was like $1. No, I got it at the Dollar Tree. That's where I got it. I got it at the Dollar Tree. And this is $1. It's like a little sewn back book. It's paper.
Yeah.
And has like a translucent blue cover that has like screen printed on it, Be Happy, which I thought was perfect for my weed journal, right?
Yeah.
And I have a Rick and Morty sticker behind there. I have like a couple of Animal Crossing stickers. I like stickers. I have a bajillion keychains. I'm the person who like customizes everything because I have stuff stuck behind my phone case. Like that's me. And I write in it like, what strain I'm smoking, if I smoke it regularly, how much I smoked the time that I'm writing about it.
You put your sticker, the stick-on labels that they use with the terp profile.
Yeah, with my patient name and the terp profile, I stick on there. Some companies are really cool, like Kind Tree sticks another sticker with all of their terp profiles on there, even a like farther breakdown than the dispensary. So I stick that in there too, and I write notes about it and like give it my own little rating and see, where that falls between, what I'd like next or what, didn't work for me. So
yeah, I unfortunately lost mine. I don't remember. I can't find it.
Mine are still in one of the boxes.
But I'm thinking about making a new one, a bit bigger one.
Yeah.
Kind of mixing what I was doing, what you were doing. I was painstakingly handwriting the. You just knocked over a spray bottle. I was handwriting all the terp profiles and everything.
I thought about that, and then I got high one day, and I was like, wait. There's a fucking sticker on here.
See, here's the thing though. Well, by the time I was starting this, all the stickers have been rubbed off.
Yeah.
So I had to look online and try getting the terp profiles, and it was a bad time. So that's why I want to kind of start over and kind of think of, and also kind of like have a word, like a section, and that's why I want like a bigger book to be like, how is this when I smoke it out of this thing? How is it when I smoke it out of this thing? How you were talking about on jointly, like how they smoke it. I want to talk about like, how is it as an edible? How is it, vaporized? How is it as a capsule or just straight tincture? Whatever.
While we're speaking about that super briefly, the gummies that you made with the lemon G, those are fantastic for edibles. Yeah. They're amazing.
Yeah, they are really good.
Mm-hmm.
If you just have one, I made a super very low dosage batch.
It hits you a little bit like at the 1.5 hour mark. Just enough for you to be like, these gummies ain't shit. And then it's like that meme, but it's not the meme of like you cooking your food in the cabinet high.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, yeah.
You're a little buzzed. You also smoke. You had them when you smoked, though, last time. No, you ate one by itself.
I ate one by itself, and then I smoked the strain that I smoked the strain I ate. I wait till I came back down, and then I had a gummy.
Mm-hmm.
And that brought me way back up.
Yeah, which might have had a mix on it. You know what I mean? I've had it straight by itself. One is not bad for me personally. It's given me a lot of the medical benefits.
Like your mom's gummies just made me super chill and happy and kind of giggly.
Yeah, like you're feeling a lot of the pot, like the medical side that would help you. And then 2 or more are the ones where I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm feeling I'm having a real good time.
That's like what I feel like. Like with pot is like you either like there's 2 sides to it. Like, yeah, everybody talks about the medical benefits, but people think that's associated with being high. It's like the before part. Excuse me. The plateau is the high part. That's kind of fun and cool. Excuse me. And you can get too far up there.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But then if you go back down to the lower end of things, it's just like, I'm calm, I'm cool. I can probably go to bed now. This is really nice,
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of medical benefits before the high too, and there's a lot of like other terpenes that are hitting you on those very low dosage with edibles that will help with that.
Yeah,
I haven't broken down what percentage of dosage it is, or like what milligrams.
Yeah, like what they do on Bong Appetit, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like how they yeah, because they'll have how much it is, but there was he's a scientist that breaks down
how it's dosed,
like what the potency rating is.
I think he's pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I can see that. For you.
Like I have a very specific type of men if I like men at all, and yeah, he's pretty freaking cute.
But the for mine it was literally, I filled it with the alcohol, filled it at the minimum line, and threw a gram. That's what a 3.
No, that's an eighth. An ounce. That's an ounce.
Ounce of weed.
Yeah.
Okay, I threw an ounce.
There's an eighth. Shit, fuck.
You said it was an eighth.
It's an eighth. 3.5 grams is an eighth. Yeah, because the guy at the dispensary was like, yeah, it's the same thing. I was like, oh, so sorry. My brain's fried. It's fine.
But the recipe calls for 2 to 5 cups of alcohol and 14 to 28 grams of weed, and I'm like,
so much fucking weed.
I don't have that money to drop into that.
I'm pretty sure 28 is like that's an ounce. Like 28 grams of weed. 28.
So I would have to buy like upwards.
You'd have to buy a fuck ton. You'd have to be growing it at your fucking house.
Yeah, because it's literally 3.5 grams times 7 would be 21. Would be half, 21 and a half plus 3 would be 24 and a half.
Yeah. So
I'd have to get 7 of those. That's a lot of money.
You literally have to be the person that's between the grower and the distributors to have that much weed on you.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
You have to have a 3-month, the way PA's medical laws are written.
Yeah.
You have to have upwards of the 90 days. I think I'm pushing it with what I have right now, and I have like 4.
Yeah. I keep forgetting how much I have at the house. Because I have not, there was a while I haven't finished an eighth. We said that was.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't finished an eighth. I had this little bit left. But yeah, like also I have my vape stuff somewhere. I don't freaking know. But also, what technically is a 90-day supply in the state of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Like, where's that
it's
line?
super vague because, like, it depends. Because, like, I'm an everyday smoker, so I go through these pretty fast.
Whereas I go through an eighth in like 2.5 weeks.
Or I can go through it in, like, eighth, probably, like, a week if I'm pushing it.
Well, now, if we're talking Alex freshman in college, I'd go through that in 3 days.
That's my fastest, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Because I'll smoke. Depends on what I'm doing too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really weird. So my gummies are super low dosage, but I would still kind of be like dosage unknown. Think it's on very low side, very low potency ratio of what I did reduced to a FICO.
I'm so sorry. That is my tongue.
Alex's stomach has been growling and making noises all day. So if you heard that, I'm going to be very impressed with how well this microphone is.
Yeah, this microphone's really good.
But I just kind of like write all that in the journal and kind of like also use it, you know, for my notes on like the edible side and when I'm making decarbing and all that, you know.
Yeah, all that jazz.
So I think mine would look more like notes of a mad woman, but I mean, still.
As long as it makes sense to you at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It's the same way
True.
with journaling about your emotions and stuff.
Which I need to get back into because I started one for when we moved, before we moved here.
Yeah.
I was writing in it every day, and then
we moved.
And I got busy.
And then it was in the box for a bit, and like.
No, it was always out.
Oh, was ours out?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was in a box for a bit. I need to pull that sucker out.
It's just time lately because I'm working like 48 hours a week.
But yeah, going back to what I was saying. But like, it's fine. It's like, I try to pull you back in railroad train again. We're not unstoppable here. But yeah, just, you know, whatever works for you. Like some people write in paragraphs. I like to write in bullet points sometimes. I used to write in paragraphs in my journal. It felt like too much of an obligation and a chore to do that. And also my brain functionality has changed where I can't consistent, I can't even fucking do it right now.
Consistency of thought.
Yes. I can't even do that right now. My brain is just boom, bam, left field, right field, up, down, sideways to the left. Like, pretty sure you were talking to me. Pretty sure I might have ADHD. Just coming to that realization now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get you tested because, you know, there's a lot of similarities between ADHD and anxiety and different neurological,
neurodivergent.
Yeah. So that's the weed journal side. And now to the final big topic I wanted to talk about.
Dun, dun, dun.
Polyamory.
Oh, yeah.
I think we might have talked about it super briefly in a very early episode.
We did.
But I kind of wanted to go a little deeper on this episode.
Before we go super deep, I used my Barnes & Noble gift card. This relates to it. I got the newest version of the Ethical Slut. Woo! Go to your local Barnes & Noble. Not a sponsor. I like you guys, though. You cool. Give my friend a job.
So do you want to let people know what polyamory is?
So polyamory, as we practice it, is, you know, we are both in a relationship. We are what we call nesting partners. We're the ones that, you know, we live together. We're going to raise children together and everything else. And now, disclaimer, not everybody's polycule, polymap, polyglobe, whatever you want to call it. Constellation, solar system, galaxy looks the same. We're not saying this is everybody. We're just saying this is us, right?
Well, I thought you were just going to give a basic.
Well, it's because the definition varies from who you talk to. So it's basically like when you get down to the short and skinny of it is you have more than one partner.
Yeah, it's ethical non-monogamy, polyamory. Basically, it's multiple lovers.
Not polygamy.
That's multiple wives.
That's different. That's usually a religious thing.
But basically, polyamory or ethical non-monogamy is basically just multiple partners that you're dating at the same time. And, you know, there's different ways to go about it, but that's the short and skinny of it.
Sorry, I kind of went off in left field there.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm so sorry.
It was my turn to pull you in.
Thanks.
Do you want to continue with the way we do it?
Yeah, so we've been polyamorous from the get-go,
Mhm.
which was nice because when I got out of that long relationship, I wasn't looking for monogamy. I had someone I was talking to that was I suggested the idea with the very limited language that I had, and she was like, eh. So here we are.
Yeah. And
3
then you
years
had
later.
me like on our first date. Hey, I'm Polly. I have 2 partners already.
I really like
I
you.
really like you. I think you're cool. This is who I am. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. And I was like, let me get back to you. And I felt so bad for saying, let me get back to you.
That's fine.
Cool.
I straight up told you take as long as you need.
I didn't want to
we
give
so
you
cool to
anxiety.
talk though.
Yeah, we'll still talk and everything will be chill. Like, I wanted to wrap up some loose ends with the FWB that I had going on, and then like this girl, what was going on with her, so we could go forward properly.
Yeah. So some people, now there is a quote unquote pride, and I say quote unquote pride flag because it is poly pride, but it's some people when they hear pride flag they think automatically the queer community,
Yeah.
the LGBT community, whichever you want to use, of the gay umbrella gay
It's
world.
just a SpongeBob thing of going
the rainbow with
Gay.
imagination.
It's gay. Fabulous.
But the thing is with some people think it should be part of it, and a lot of people think it shouldn't be. And I kind of want to dive into that.
Real quick, I feel like it's the same topic with kink and pride.
Yeah. So a lot of people will say,
sorry.
What?
I was gonna say there's a lot of interweave.
There really is, and it honestly, it's do both belong at Pride? Yes, 100%. Because these people have stood up with us since Stonewall. Even if you're just monogamous and vanilla or gay,
cool.
The leather community was there. The key, essentially the kink community was there with us at Stonewall, and at our first marches. So don't shun them out of the community, but know that like you're kinky, but unless you are a queer kinkster, kink is not inherently gay.
Yeah.
That being said, I wanted to bring up the discussion with polyamory because 9 times out of 10, if you're in a polyamorous relationship, somebody at the corner, if you're at a splitting point, that person is typically queer in some facet.
Yeah, there's rarely, and this is another thing that pisses me off, side tangent. When things like this get represented in media, it's always the straight white man with 2 women.
Oh,
2 straight cis women.
Yeah.
And so it's just a vector, which nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Disclaimer. I don't care if you practice that way. Cool, whatever works for you, right? I've known people who do that.
That's the most common way. And if
that's
it's
the most common
triad, one of the girls, there are 5 girls.
But that's the most common way it's depicted, and I don't feel like it's been so much more than that. I've only met 1 out of how many polyamorous people I've met that have their layout like that.
And here's the thing: there's a lot of people who are unicorn hunt for a triad, where it's like, oh, my husband's straight, but he knows I'm bi, and he's allowing me to like interact with other women
because he thinks it's hot.
Yeah,
I feel like that's different than the polyamory umbrella.
And so typically, yes, a lot of people say no, it doesn't belong anywhere in the queer space because it's a relationship format. I'm like, okay, cool, but you do realize there's a decent portion of the queer community that is in that. Now, does it belong in the alphabet mafia or the alphabet soup, as a letter on its own? That's a gray area.
Yeah.
Because you can't have just straight polyamory. I've seen it. You can have all queer poly people where it's literally just all lesbians or all gay men.
Yeah. Real quick, did you see the picture of Freddie Mercury and his friends celebrating his life party? I thought it was an accidental polyamory, but okay. But no, it was literally Freddie Mercury and some of his, and I quote, personal friends all lying in his bed.
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
But like you can have stuff like that. So I get the argument of, and this isn't like us saying it is or isn't one way or another. It's just to kind of get a conversation top adding. And with the Anchor app, not sponsored, we can, because it's through Spotify, we can actually add a poll thing. So I'm actually
That's so cool.
going to do that on this
Let's do
episode. Is
that.
add a poll. Is do you think polyamory is inherently queer or not?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But the thing with it is there is a decent chunk of the polyamorous community that is in the LGBTQIA plus community. There's a decent portion of the polyamorous community that is also in the stoner community.
Yeah.
Which I think is really funny, and not like a ha funny, but in an interesting kind of cool way. Because these communities are all about typically peace and love and trying to have just love who you are and love who you love,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Be who you truly are, kind of thing.
Exactly. So
no wonder these spaces overlap.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you have the polyamorous community who has a lot of it, I'm like, and I've noticed it more here in Pittsburgh, because a lot of the poly people that do end up being on like dating apps also have 420 friendly, and I'm like,
yep. Or they'll have the leaves, like the rustling leaf emoji
with the wind dust.
Mm-hmm.
Fire tree.
Fire tree. Oh, I love your therapist. Your old therapist is amazing.
I miss him.
If somehow you found this, hello.
Hi. I'm not gonna say your name, but
you know who you are.
Yeah. But basically, like you said, like with the King community, it does deserve to be. I believe the polyamorous community deserves to be in the marches with us.
Yes.
They're allies. A decent amount of us are in those style relationships, and I just think the queer stoner should also be in the march, or stoner allies should also be in the marches.
Imagine it. A stoner said the stoner section was like your stereotypical stoner, but paint a rainbow.
Yeah.
Boom. In the Pride Parade.
Well, here's my thing, right? It is like there's a lot of organizations like that support like equality acts and equity acts and like social justice reforms. People who run Puffco Pete, I think Puffco.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain organizations that help like women of color, business owners in the cannabis world, people of color, women in the cannabis industry. Magical Butter does a lot of stuff like that from what I've seen.
That's cool.
These different organizations, I could see them very easily going to like a California Pride Parade and sponsoring some of the events. Because remember when I talked about did I bring up the AIDS epidemic on the podcast?
Yes.
But like
because of the lesbian women.
Yeah. So, but during the AIDS epidemic, the reason why California had medical marijuana in the 90s was because of the queer community pushing for medical marijuana because they saw it helped with people with AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see a lot of these companies help sponsor, even if it's just like we're not a physical presence because this is y'all's space, but we will put money towards this to help you guys. And we honestly don't even need our name on there, but for legal reasons, you do just make a small ass print kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they, donate to these things because they know it's a good cause. I'm right up there with them kind of thing. And I would love to see more of that across the board.
Yeah.
Because you do have a lot of decent companies that do support like New York Pride and businesses that support Pittsburgh Pride and everything, both local and big businesses. So I could see cannabis helping with that, especially in California. And I would love to see it here. Because this year is going to be our first Pittsburgh Pride.
Heck yeah.
I've had State College Pride. I've been to New York Pride. I've been to Lock Haven Pride.
I've been to State College Pride. That's about it.
And Lock Haven, for those of you who are known as this little itty bitty quote unquote city. the only quote unquote city in the entire county
Because they have a
of
fucking
Central
courthouse.
PA. Yeah, because they have the courthouse, and it's literally like 20 minutes across both directions.
Yeah.
You blink and you're through it.
Yeah, don't blink, you miss it kind of thing.
And so it honestly, I wouldn't consider it a city, but I don't get how they break it down. Anywho, I'm going off track. Would love to see it at Pittsburgh Pride. Would love to see this kind of thing at Pittsburgh Pride. So, do you think it? So basically, the two questions I got under it is: do you think it's inherently queer, and do you think it belongs in queer spaces?
I think definitely that like it is inherently queer. There's too much. It's like having a Venn diagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those circles are so close, you can barely tell they're two. And there's such a small bit on the outskirts that's not overlapping that, yes, I feel like it is inherently queer. And then it does belong in the LGBT spaces because, again, bringing the kink community back into this, they overlap a lot with the poly community, which overlaps a lot with the queer community. And we're becoming one large same love group. And I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we were all started all of this together. And like, I don't feel like it would be right to say, no, you're not allowed in our space, even though you helped us get here in a way.
See, on the second part, I do agree. I do believe they should have a table at in queer spaces. I do believe that, like, because a decent portion of them are queer, because like Kinksters, like they've helped us advance through. I don't think they're in the polyamorous as a definition and as a identity is not inherently queer, personally, because I have seen straight polycules.
Yeah.
And been okay, cool. And I've seen it work, and I've seen them, be really happy and everything, and not have any semblance of queer in it at all. But I've also seen them where it's just one set of queer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, I don't think it's inherently queer, but I think they have a high potential.
No, understandable.
Of having a person in the polyamorous has a decent portion of the queer community, just like one of my friends who is queer and is a furry who went to Anthrocon not too long ago here in Pittsburgh, was telling me statistically you have 20% of the furry community roughly that is queer.
Nice.
And I'm like, that's a big chunk.
That is a huge chunk.
That is a big chunk. And I'm like, why? He goes, dude, we're furries. We're all behind masks. No one, like, you have those weird section of people who are kind of like racist, fascist assholes who are furries, but like other than that, dude, who gives a shit? We're just guys in costumes who like anthropomorphic cartoons. I'm like,
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're right.
So, I don't have any Skittles this week.
I don't either.
The only people I could think of is my training crew at the store I just left. Some of y'all listen to the podcast.
Last night I picked you up from there for the last time.
And I felt bummed, but I got a decent way to contact you guys, and if I need anything, I'll give you guys a call.
No.
But I think this is a good stopping point. We're about an hour in.
Cool.
You have anything else to bring up, honey?
I don't think so. And I hope everybody's having a great New Year so far.
Yeah, I hope you're having a great New Year. Great start to the New Year.
And set some personal goals for yourself, because life's so much easier if you have something to reach for,
Yeah, and you and me are both this kind of same person, real quick, that like if we want to change something about ourselves, we don't wait to New Year.
We just do it.
We just do it.
And we set that goal, and we reach it.
But sometimes, New Year is a time of reflection, so
you have a better gauge on what you could have done better from the last year.
Exactly. So you're gonna think about what you're gonna try doing better this year.
Yeah.
But again, I don't set resolutions. I just set goals.
Sorry, there's a child in my lap.
You're good.
He has a bell on him. Don't hit the microphone, child.
Don't hit it with your tail, Finny boy. But again, my name is Raven.
I'm Alex.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye-bye.